So if you're like many people, you may have a wood stove, of which I just got one, and I think they're wonderful. It's not too cold out today, but I decided to put this on. It was around maybe 40, 42 degrees this morning. So to take the chill off in the air, I fired up my wood stove. Now there's a lot of things you can do with a wood stove once you have one. A really good idea is to get a thermometer, as you see right here. This one's an Inferno, and it gives you a general idea of temperature, what's a good zone, what's a zone for creosote, which is too much buildup, and then what is too hot. So you just sort of put this on the top of your stove. Now if you're like me, you try and get as many things done as possible. So here's my Pyrex coffee percolator, and it's just starting to get going. So if you decide to get a percolator and put it on top of your wood stove, there's a couple things to keep in mind. First of all, you probably need one of these guys right here, which is a trivet. So trivet generally are in cast iron, and it's a good thing to have, especially if you've had your stove going for a while and the top's very hot. Before you put anything on it, especially Pyrex in this case, you definitely want to keep it on the trivet, warm it up, and make sure that the Pyrex doesn't start to explode on you. If Pyrex is too cold and you put it on a hot surface, you're going to have issues. One thing perhaps being that the Pyrex starts to shatter. So we don't want to do that. So we have our trivet, and these are generally in cast iron, and you can get them pretty much anywhere. So I'm going to just take this off since I'm not using it at the moment. What I did was I fired up my stove and put the Pyrex on so that it sort of all came up to temperature at the same time. So we can see that at about around 450 degrees, which is where we are with our Inferno, and that's getting to a good point in our zone that we want our stove to be at as far as home heating. But we can see that we're just starting to percolate here at around 450 or so stovetop temperature. So we'll just keep this going for a little while. It hasn't really gone completely yet. I think maybe around 475 maybe is a good temperature to get it percolating at. But we'll keep this on since I just threw a couple more logs on the fire, and it'll get hotter and hotter over time. So a wood stove is a great thing to have, especially in these times when gas is very expensive. You can still get a really good deal on wood if you look around, especially if you look on Craigslist. I just got a really good price for about 10 face cords, which hopefully will get me and my family through the winter. And as you see, it's quite easy to do. Here, me, just a simple yoga teacher, being able to fire up a nice wood stove, get a nice hot temperature going. And you can absolutely do other cooking on the wood stove as well, which we'll get to in some future videos. But for right now, I just wanted to introduce you to the thought or idea of making different things on your wood stove, using it for things other than heating your home. So it's a nice, enjoyable thing to watch as well. So have a lovely day, and we'll be back in the future.